What is up, XRP family? Thank you guys for joining the video again for today. So here we go, guys. Here we have some interesting stuff. Why don't we say that a utility token is not a security and move on? XRP XLM. CFTC Commissioner Caroline D. Pham discussing the Global Markets Advisory Committee digital asset taxonomy as the first crypto asset regulatory construct for America. This is a way for the US to catch up to the rest of the world with regards to regulations. She also speaks about a settlement asset, preferably a bearer instrument that runs 24/7 in order to be able to modernize financial market infrastructure. Listen carefully, guys.
Experts there. So I'll talk about the Digital Asset Markets Subcommittee, and thank you so much for your service. Everybody contributes, volunteers their time and their resources of their firms. It's really tremendous that we have people who are still so willing, even a challenging regulatory environment, to participate, to contribute. And what we've done so far is we've done the first ever US digital asset taxonomy. And the idea behind this was because so many other countries in the world have already made these advancements in creating regulatory constructs for crypto assets. Singapore, of course, being one of the first ones, Japan as well.
Guys, this is the first time that America has actually made a construct and is actually going to accept cryptocurrencies and trying to make it a booming industry in the US. This is the first time, so I hope you understand what that means. This is a different time than the bull runs before you have ever seen. This is different. As you can see, it's the first time, right?
In Europe, but also we now have the FSB that has international standards for crypto assets. So we need to catch up in the United States. And this is really a tool to make sure that we're all speaking the same language when we're talking about digital assets. And it would help to bridge that gap between the current level of understanding in the United States and where the rest of the world was. It's a guide to help be a resource to US policymakers as we think about alignment, because these are inherently global markets. This technology is borderless. And that's the beauty of it, because it creates access at low cost, connectivity, peer-to-peer, between the furthest points on the globe. And
she is talking about XRP now, guys. She says it's borderless, it's low cost. She's talking about XRP, guys. Open your ears.
And that's miraculous. That is really a value add to public society. Some of the other work streams that I'm very excited about, they just did a recommendation on the tokenization of non-cash collateral. As people think about the efficiencies of using blockchain technology to modernize financial market infrastructure, markets, for example, 24/7 trading, right? You need a settlement asset, preferably a bearer instrument, that can move 24/7. And as we all know, the cash leg of transactions, banks, payment, sending money around the world doesn't move in real time. So this
exactly the same thing that Brett Garlinghouse is saying. Money is not moving instantaneous. It is still a old system. You can literally understand that she's talking about XRP. Again, the US is ready, guys. This is what it takes XRP to flip Ethereum, guys. 3.2x, so it will be at a price of $7.67. I think this is very near. This is not impossible anymore. It is looking absolutely crazy, especially when you look at the chart. XRP forms a bull flag pattern targeting $15, backed by surging open interest and historical bullish momentum. We are literally seeing now that the last leg of the bull flag is being tested once we break out, guys, which I told you it's probably going to be a bit maybe earlier than 20th January, but I think that's the catalyst. That's where you're gonna see XRP move. And $15 is not a weird target, guys. And a lot of people think that's too much, but it's absolutely not. I think the floodgates will open, and finally we will see XRP where it is being deserved. Am I reading this right? Ripple built by Bitcoiners. XRP has always been the real product, while BTC was a test asset. Very interesting, as you can see here, because the real story behind XRP is actually true, right? I don't know if you guys know that, but XRP was made by people who were also building Bitcoin in the early days of 2012. And you can look it up because Ripple didn't come from just nowhere, right? They are here for a very long time. And I believe David Schwartz has something to do with the building of Bitcoin as well, but it's not very well known. So again, sounds like the lock is coming off the floodgates. Again, I told you guys, it will consolidate until 20th of January, and that's where we will see a lock coming off. And again, it may be a bit earlier or it may be a bit later, but around this time. From now on, we do not know. Let's take a look.
Another one you like is Ripple. You said it is the coin to be looking at right now.
Absolutely.
Why?
Okay, so Ripple actually was the second largest coin prior to the SEC's investigation of them. They did this really weird lawsuit against them. And basically, the Ripple's going to be the track that everything's going to be running on in the future. So they created their own stable coin right now.
Okay.
And Bank of America, like I said, they were doing 100% of their internal transactions. They've got 83 different patents on it. And there's some incredible stuff that's going to be coming out. So
These cynics, though, tell me,
Yeah.
only put as much in this space as you're willing to lose. Effectively, as of now,
Yeah.
some people say it feels like a casino. Do you agree with that?
it's the best example I have is this. Don't not get involved with something. Do whatever you would do for a nice weekend away with your spouse.
Okay.
And instead of doing that weekend, maybe put that in crypto. Here's what I'll tell you, 3 to 5 years from now, you either made some real money or you just lost one weekend together. Not a big deal.
I know, but I couldn't have that vacation.
You
right,
could have the
David?
vacation or you made your retirement.
Well said. Okay, maybe that's a better.
Interesting, guys, because this reminds me of where crypto is actually peaking. Because why am I saying that? The only times where they say in the news that you should buy crypto is when it's actually high. But I think this time they all know that Trump is pro crypto and that we will see unprecedented highs like never before. Holy S, second time hinting at a USA XRP strategic reserve SEC case resolved, plus XRP ETF USA XRP strategic reserve. Very interesting. This is coming from digital asset investor himself. Brett Garlinghouse is saying a couple of interesting stuff. Let's take a look.
That long ago that XRP was the second most valuable digital asset. And again, that's before you had these exogenous factors that I would say were unnatural, maybe not ethical in debate, but and I think now you're seeing that change. And I think with a level playing field, I almost think about it as if you hold a basketball under the water long enough, eventually you let go of it and it shoots up. But why are we surprised by this? Somebody was holding it underwater and now it's rising. So look, I feel like it feels somewhat vindicating, I'll be honest with you. But I think we should measure these over a long arc of time. I encourage Ripple employees. Yes, we are aware that XRP has gone up in value, but we really do try to take a very long-term view about what we're building and how that contributes to an internet of value and how XRP can be a critical component of an internet of value.
Yeah, it's like trying to disconnect some of the speculation from obviously the use case and ultimately how to think about the value. But my work as an analyst, we look at flow of funds, covering stocks for 20 plus years. And when you remove a huge barrier to inflows, what happens is, and there's demand, price goes up. And, so we've been obviously talking about these ETFs, and I still personally think we're in the very early innings of demand into just even the Bitcoin ETFs, let alone as people kind of go down the path into other assets. And so, that's hundreds of billions of dollars, in my opinion, over the next few years. And then you talk about demand from something like a reserve, which, in my opinion, it would probably far surpass the demand for even the ETF. So, it's an interesting just dynamic of like trying to set price on something where you essentially had a massive restriction on the ability to buy the demand side. And so price discovery is going to be interesting here for a while, I think.
So again, the one that was hinting at the strategic reserve was this guy. And it's not very weird if we see something like that happen. And again, you heard what Brett said. He said we are looking at long term. We are not looking at just these small moves right now. No, it's about long-term, guys. And I think long-term XRP can reach a very, very high price. Again, it's about how long are you willing to hold this asset. Something that everyone will use at one point, something that is deflationary, something that will be groundbreaking for the financial system of the world. So be careful with how you treat your XRP, because I think it is a very valuable asset. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. See you in the next one. Cheers.